What's up, Bills fans? I'm here to do a season-ending video, but it probably won't be my last video about the Bills. Hopefully, within the next few days, I'll be doing a video, and hopefully, it'll be about Jauron being fired. Because if any of you guys are on the fence and got your panties all wet over that Denver win, like, give me a break. I'm tired of one win after you've pretty much tanked a season that was 5-1. I mean, that's a joke, and I'm tired of hearing about how this team plays hard. You know what? No, they don't. They show up. That's what they do. They show up, and they go through the motions. They did it again yesterday against New England. I don't want to hear about the weather. I don't want to hear about the conditions. You know what? New England managed to score 13 points, and they managed to do things well. They managed to pass the ball effectively in the right situations. They managed to run the ball effectively. They made all the right moves, and Buffalo, again, looks lost. They have no idea what's going on, no idea how to handle game situations. You've got a coach who's been in the league and in the game for 35 years, a head coach for eight or 9 years, and at what point does this experience pay off? And he says, you know what, I've seen this before, I know what to do. The guy acts as if he's never faced these situations before. Never. And he gets thoroughly outcoached, and just a further slap in the face of us Bills fans. We see 3 coaches get fired today. 3. All of whom have a 500 or winning record against Jauron. He's lost to Marinelli, he's lost to Romeo Cornell twice, and he's 3-3 against Mangini. Unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. And it was just, I watched the press conference with Woody Johnson today about Mangini being fired, and the one thing that he said to me, but he said that rang true to me was, we have a responsibility to our fan base. Meaning that, you know what, they hear their fans. They're moving into a new stadium. They understand that this is our livelihoods. This is our lifeline, is our fans. Without our fans, we are irrelevant. And I just wish it's almost like Jauron owns this team. I mean, it's like the guy it's almost like he's untouchable. I mean, the guy basically fires himself week in and week out, and he's still there. For him to after the Dallas game last year, after the tons of debacles, you're 0-6 in the division. The only other teams that do that are the Rams and the Detroit Lions. I mean, how much more damning is that? 2-21 against teams that finish the season with a winning record. I mean, give me a break. What is this guy done that's so, we hear this crap about continuity. You know what? Screw continuity. What has continuity got you? 7-9, 7-9, and 7-9. Obviously, the continuity is not working. It's not. We want to keep. You hear these players, and it's regurgitating. You know what? These players are really starting to sound like Jauron to me. They really are, and it's pissing me off. Every time you hear one of them, I'll be like, you know what? Screw this asshole. Screw him. You know what? He might be a nice guy. I know I attack him, but he's not a good football coach. And you know what? I don't hear the Patriots talking about what a nice guy Bill Belichick is, but you know what? I'm damn sure glad that they're glad that he's their head coach and he puts them in the best positions to win. And you know what? Buffalo players do question the play calling. They did it a few times this year, particularly after the Jets game. And you know what? I wish one of them would have the backbone to just come out and say what they really feel. That this guy it needs to be walking around with a pacemaker on the sidelines. That's how clueless he is. Just has no command on game day. The sideline is a mess. You got Duke Preston, costing his team points. And the biggest thing that might get lost in that whole situation, they didn't once consider trying to score a touchdown. They've admitted it. They were playing for a field goal. You're playing for a field goal. It's the last game of the season. You're not going to the playoffs. You've lost against this team 10 straight times. What do you have to lose by going for the touchdown? What? A throw to the end zone stops the clock if it's incomplete. You know what? At least you tried. I would respect that. This team seems content. I think Dick Jauron thinks the F in NFL stands for the National Field Goal League. I really do. I truly do. And back to these players, you know what? It just the thing that I think, and I believe this, that they're more concerned with obviously they're just concerned with having a loosey-goosey atmosphere. They're content not having to put on pads 2 weeks in the training camp, not hitting in training camp, not practicing outdoors when they play in cold weather, and just as extreme weather as we've seen last year in the Cleveland game, even in the Giants game was some pretty bad weather last year. This year against the Patriots, they're just kind of like we like being having a free hand here. I said it earlier today. It's like when all of us were kids. Like when we knew, or we walked into school and saw that there was a substitute teacher in there. How happy were we? Oh my God, it was great. We knew we weren't gonna have to work hard. We knew this guy had no idea what the curriculum was or what was going on. He was just gonna give us like a worksheet or something, or have us talk about some bull crap, and just basically blow the hour or so in the class. It was great. And that's what I think these players think, that they can just come in, go through the motions, and they can, collect their game check and go home. Another total absolute flatline yesterday. I don't want to hear about this team playing hard anymore. It's a joke. They get paid millions of dollars. They play NFL football. They're supposed to play hard. I don't want to give them credit for doing their job. I want to give them credit for winning. And I do give them credit for winning. When they go out there and they show up on Sundays, I do. But they just don't do it enough, and they haven't done it enough, and they seem very content about not doing it. They really do. They seem resigned to being average, and that is really perturbing. It really is. They go out and they get in a physical scrape, a physical football game. They're like a boxer who gets punched in the mouth really, really hard, and you know what? They kind of resign the fact they don't want no more of the fight. They just kind of cover up and go and duck and move. They just don't want any more of it. They're like, oh God, this guy punched really, really hard, and I don't like the way it felt. And we've seen it time and time again for this team. When it comes time to getting big stops in the fourth quarter and getting something going on defense, they can't do it. The offense, the 3 and out, that was just classic passing on 4th and 1 in gale forced winds. I mean, when they had the ball at the end of the second half, when that whole BS happened, they were with the wind. It was an optimum time to pass. Optimum. It's ridiculous. This play calling, and in just the ineptitude of this staff, the ineptitude to have an organization just on the sideline speaks volumes. The fact that they were just playing for a field goal at the end of a half of pretty much a game that was, meaningful for Jauron, because if he won the game, I think he probably would have had a lot more job security than he has now. Still playing for the field goal. That just boggles. It doesn't boggle the mind, because this is what he is. He's just content. He's content with being, whatever. That's what he is. And, he said it. He said something in one of his press conferences that got me. One of the reporters asked him, how do you accept, this? It was after the Miami game. He's like, how do you accept? There was the second straight game they had only scored 3 points. Home game, so what? The 49er game, 3 points. The Miami game, 3 points. And they're like, isn't it? Russ Brandon said this was unacceptable. And he's like, well, you asked that question to Russ. You didn't ask it to me. He was like, I'm asking it to you. And he's like, well, as far as accepting it, well, how can you not accept it if you've already done it? So basically he's, he chews on his lack of success and his lack of winning as a head coach and accepts it. Straight from his own mouth. He accepts it. And you know what, they need to get a coach in here who's a taskmaster, and that's obvious. A guy who's going to get on these guys' ass like a pit bull. A guy who's going to see to it that they're hitting hard and practicing hard and having an edge on game day, because this team is not the most physical team on game day. They are not, and it happens way too much. They get into a tough game and they just kind of concede. They just like, you know what, we're in a tough game, the weather's bad, let's just, you know, finish this. It's cold, I'm tired, you know, I want to go home. It's sickening. It really is. Just no point. I mean, no points. I mean, you know what? A lot of respect to you, Bills fans that went to that game yesterday and sat through that garbage that they passed off as NFL football. You know, garbage. You know, a lot of respect to the Pats fans. They're a fan of a real organization and a real team and a real head coach that has a singular goal, and that's winning, as opposed to the team that they get two, you know, easy wins against every year. That they say, you know, Pats. You know, they see the Bills on their schedule. Oh, you know, we're gonna, you know, at worst we're gonna go 2-14, at worst, because those are guaranteed wins right there. They are at this point. Shit, before this, it's guaranteed. There is just this group of players have it in their mind. They cannot beat. They can't. You know. You say what you want, talk all the trash, you know, better than not being a Lions fan. You know what? The Lions score some points. They try to be in games. You know, they went up to, you know, they're on their 5th starting quarterback, whatever it is, and then they go up to the Green Bay and Lambeau, and they score 21 points. They try to win the game. They do their damnedest. But you know what? Obviously, it's not good enough because they're 0-16, and they just, and then Buffalo just kind of, you know, oh well, no, that's their attitude. You know, why fight hard? You know, you love your coach so much, you think he's so great. You know what? You don't show it. You know, you pretty much are a reflection of him at this point. They really are. The Bills players are a reflection of Jauron. They're soft. They're lethargic, lackadaisical. They're kind of, you know, they concede. You know, you know, it excludes a few guys. I don't know, I could pick apart some plays yesterday, like the bunch play on the when Welker almost ran into the end zone when they decided to just leave him wide open. You know, they pulled 20 yards back to try to cover Randy Moss going into the wind, and then they leave Welker 5. I mean, it was just like nobody was within how many yards of Welker. Then they ran the same bootleg twice to Heath Evans for 19 yards each, I think. It was just like ridiculous. Another play that the great Keith Ellison got fooled on twice. Whitner getting run over like a child yesterday was the ultimate. Oh my God, that was just the ultimate embarrassment, but just the most fitting thing. The biggest stamp you can put on this team for the whole year was that play right there when he got flatlined by former Bill Sammy Morris. And I'm surprised Sam Aiken didn't catch a touchdown yesterday. It's amazing how you see these former Bills, they go to other organizations. You got Justin Bannon, Jimmy Leonard, Sammy Morris, you know, Sam Aiken, you know, doing some okay things for other teams. You know, these are all guys that left Buffalo. You know, Pat Williams, you know, perennial Pro Bowl tackle, you know, leaves still. You know, Antoine Winfield makes his first Pro Bowl this year. You know, Jabari Greer will leave. He'll make a Pro Bowl with some other team. It's just sickening, you know, and I'm kind of like, you know, that's why I just didn't do a video yesterday, because I was just so like, I can't believe I just wasted 3 hours more of the day watching this crap. I really can't. Like, I don't know why I do it, but I do it, you know, like we all do. And thanks for watching. I appreciate it. You guys are great. You know, thanks for subscribing and all. Hope the holidays were great for you guys. Hope the New Year is a good, safe one. Be careful, especially where I live. There's a lot of, you know, people get too crazy with the alcohol. But you guys have a good one. Thanks for everything, and hopefully I'll be talking about Jauron being fired very, very soon. You know, and supposedly Wednesday. That's what they wrote. Supposedly Wednesday we're gonna hear something, and apparently Jauron wasn't part of the meeting today. That was today. Supposedly they're gonna have one tomorrow. Maybe he's a part of it, maybe he's not. And if he's not, that's pretty damning, and I hope he's not. So, you guys take care.